How much of your life have you given away trying to be accepted by people who were never meant to decide your worth? How many times have you changed your words, softened your truth, hidden your feelings, or swallowed your needs because you were afraid someone might judge you, leave you, laugh at you, misunderstand you, or stop loving you? My dear, there comes a moment when the soul becomes tired of performing. It becomes tired of smiling when it wants to cry, agreeing when it wants to say no, staying quiet when it wants to speak, and becoming smaller so other people can feel comfortable. That tiredness is not weakness. That tiredness is your inner self calling you back home. You were not born to live as a mirror for other people's opinions. You were not placed in this life to become whatever someone else wants you to be. You were not created to chase praise, fear judgment, and measure your value by the look on someone's face. You came here with a heart, a voice, a nature, a light, a way of seeing life that belongs to you. Before anyone approved of you, you were already worthy. Before anyone clapped for you, you were already enough. Before anyone understood your heart was already precious. Life did not wait for human permission before it breathed through you. Life did not ask the world if you deserved to exist. You are here because life said yes to you. But many people forget this. They begin to believe they must earn their place. They must earn love. They must earn kindness. They must earn rest. They must earn the right to be themselves. And so they start living carefully. They watch every move. They think before speaking, not from wisdom, but from fear. They ask themselves, will they like this? Will they approve? Will they be angry? Will they think I am selfish? Will they think I am too much? Will they think I am not enough? Slowly, the heart becomes a room full of other people's voices, and the true self waits quietly in the corner, hoping someday it will be allowed to speak again. Maybe you know that feeling. Maybe you have been the strong person, the kind person, the helpful person, the peaceful person, the person who keeps everything together. Maybe you learned to read the room before you read your own heart. Maybe you became good at sensing what others needed, but forgot to ask what you needed. Maybe you became loved for being easy, useful, quiet, agreeable, and available. But deep inside, you may have wondered, would they still love me if I stopped pleasing them? Would they still stay if I told the truth? Would they still accept me if I did not bend myself into the shape they wanted? That question can become a prison. It can keep a person trapped for years. It can make the soul feel like it must keep earning what should have been freely given. Love that requires you to abandon yourself is not true love. Approval that asks you to erase your needs is not peace. Belonging that only exists when you are silent is not real belonging. The real you does not need to disappear to be loved. The real you does not need to apologize for having feelings, dreams, boundaries, desires, and a voice. I want you to hear this deeply. You are allowed to exist without explaining every part of yourself. You are allowed to grow without asking everyone if they are comfortable with your growth. You are allowed to choose peace, even if someone else calls it selfish. You are allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to say no. You're allowed to leave rooms where your spirit feels small. You're allowed to stop performing for people who only praise the version of you that never needs anything. For so long, you may have thought freedom would come when they finally understood you, when they finally said you were right, when they finally saw your pain, when they finally admitted your value, when they finally approved of the life you wanted to live. But my dear, that kind of freedom keeps your heart waiting outside someone else's door. True freedom begins when you stop standing there. True freedom begins when you turn inward and say, I no longer need to beg to be accepted. I accept myself. I no longer need to chase permission. I give myself permission. I no longer need to prove my worth. I remember my worth. This does not mean you stop caring about people. It does not mean you become cold, hard, or unkind. It means you stop using other people's reactions as the ruler for your life. You can love people and still disagree with them. You can respect people and still choose differently. You can listen with kindness and still follow your own inner truth. You can be gentle and still be firm. You can be loving and still refuse to lose yourself. There is a part of you that already knows this. That part has been whispering to you for a long time. It speaks when your chest tightens after saying yes when you meant no. It speaks when you feel empty after trying to make everyone else happy. It speaks when you look at yourself and wonder where your joy went. It speaks when you feel tired of acting fine. That quiet voice inside you is not trying to disturb your life. It is trying to return you to your life. It is trying to remind you that peace does not come from being liked by everyone. Peace comes from being honest with yourself. So let this be the truth that opens the door today. You do not need their approval to be worthy. You do not need their praise to be valuable. You do not need their agreement to be allowed. You do not need their understanding to be real. You are real already. You are worthy already. You are enough already. And every time you stop reaching outward for proof and begin resting inward in truth, you come back to yourself. Say these words inside your heart softly and naturally. I release the need to be approved by everyone. I accept myself as I am. I am safe to be myself. Let those words move through you like light entering a room that has been closed for too long. Not forced, not rushed, simply allowed. You may feel resistance. You may feel emotion rising. You may feel the old habit saying, but what if they do not like me? What if they judge me? What if they walk away? And the answer is gentle but strong. If being yourself makes someone walk away, then maybe your truth is clearing space for people who can love you without needing you to disappear. You have spent enough time trying to become acceptable to others. Now it is time to become kind to yourself. You have spent enough time asking, what will they think? Now it is time to ask, what does my heart know? You have spent enough time trying to be chosen. Now it is time to choose yourself, not with anger, not with bitterness, with love, with calm, with the quiet power of a person who finally understands that their life belongs to them. My dear, there is nothing wrong with wanting love. There is nothing wrong with wanting kindness. There is nothing wrong with wanting to be seen and understood. But do not trade your soul for approval. Do not trade your peace for praise. Do not trade your truth for temporary comfort. The approval of others can feel warm for a moment, but if you had to betray yourself to receive it, it will never feel like real peace. Self-acceptance may feel unfamiliar at first, but it becomes a home inside you. And when you have that home, you can walk through the world with softer shoulders, clearer eyes, and a calmer heart. You were not born to live for their approval. You were born to live from the truth of who you are. You were born to grow, to heal, to love, to learn, to express, to rest, to create, to choose, to become. You were born with a spirit that does not need to be edited for the comfort of others. Your real self is not a problem. Your real self is the place where your freedom begins. Living for others can look kind from the outside, but inside it can feel very heavy. People may call you thoughtful. They may call you reliable. They may say you are so easy to be around. They may praise you for never causing trouble, never asking for too much, never saying what hurts, never choosing yourself first. And because the praise feels good, you may keep doing it. You may keep bending. You may keep giving. You may keep hiding. But deep inside, a quiet sadness begins to grow. Because the world may be approving of the version of you that is tired, silent, and disconnected from your own heart. The hidden weight of living for others is that you begin to lose touch with yourself little by little, not all at once, not in a loud way. It happens quietly. You stop asking what you want. You start asking what will keep peace. You stop noticing what feels right. You start noticing what will be accepted. You stop trusting your own feelings. You start checking them against other people's moods. And after a while, you may not even know what you truly want anymore. You only know how to avoid disappointing someone else. This is a painful way to live. It keeps the body tense. It keeps the mind busy. It keeps the heart waiting for safety. You may wake up already thinking about what others expect from you. You may replay conversations, wondering if you said the wrong thing. You may feel guilty for resting. You may feel nervous when someone is quiet, thinking their silence must mean you did something wrong. You may over-explain yourself because you are afraid of being misunderstood. You may apologize even when you have done nothing harmful. This is what happens when approval becomes the air you think you need to breathe. But love should not feel like walking on a thin line. Relationships should not require you to erase yourself. Family should not require you to live without a voice. Friendship should not require you to abandon your truth. Peace should not require self-betrayal. If you must constantly shrink, perform, or pretend to keep someone close, then your spirit will feel tired because it knows that closeness is built on fear. Many people live this way and do not even know it. They call it being nice. They call it being loyal. They call it being mature. They call it keeping the family together. They call it not making problems. But under those words, there may be fear. Fear of being rejected, fear of being judged, fear of being called selfish, fear of being left behind, fear of not being loved if they stop giving so much. My dear, fear can dress itself as kindness, but the body knows the difference. True kindness leaves you peaceful. People-pleasing leaves you empty. Think about how your body feels when you say yes from love. There is openness. There is warmth. There is choice. Now think about how your body feels when you say yes from fear. There is tightness. There is pressure. There is a small voice inside that says, I do not want this, but I feel I must. That small voice matters. It is not selfish. It is not rude. It is your inner truth asking to be heard. When you ignore that voice for too long, the weight becomes heavier. You may feel tired even after resting. You may feel angry and not know why. You may feel sad even when nothing obvious has happened. You may feel disconnected from the people you keep trying to please. This happens because the heart cannot feel fully loved when it is not being fully honest. A person can receive praise all day and still feel lonely if the praise is only for the mask they wear. This is why living for approval is so draining. It asks you to leave yourself again and again. It asks you to stand outside your own heart and wait for someone else to open the door. It asks you to treat other people's comfort as more important than your own inner peace. And at first, you may think this keeps you safe. You may think, if I can make them happy, then I will be loved. If I can avoid conflict, then I will be safe. If I can become what they want, then I will belong. But the soul cannot feel true safety while pretending. The soul feels safe when it is allowed to be real. You may have learned this pattern early in life. Maybe love felt connected to performance. Maybe praise came when you were quiet, helpful, successful, or obedient. Maybe anger came when you had needs. Maybe you were made to feel guilty for having feelings. Maybe you learned that peace in the home depended on your silence. So you became careful. You became useful. You became good at noticing what others wanted before they even asked. That was not foolish. That was survival. That was your younger self trying to stay loved and safe. But what helped you survive before may now be keeping you from feeling free. You are not wrong for learning that pattern. You are not weak for carrying it. You are not behind because you are still healing it. You are simply being invited into a new way of living. A way where love does not require self-erasing. A way where peace does not require silence. A way where you can belong to yourself first, and from that place, meet others with honesty. There is such deep relief in realizing you no longer have to manage everyone's opinion of you. You do not have to make everyone understand. You do not have to convince everyone that your choices are valid. You do not have to explain your healing to people who are committed to misunderstanding it. You do not have to keep proving that your needs matter. They matter because you matter. Let this truth settle gently inside you. Your needs are not a burden. Your feelings are not a problem. Your boundaries are not cruelty. Your voice is not too much. Your truth is not an attack. You can speak with love and still be honest. You can choose yourself and still care about others. You can disappoint someone and still be a good person. You can stop pleasing and still be deeply loving. The hidden weight begins to lift when you tell yourself the truth. Maybe the truth is, I am tired of pretending. Maybe the truth is, I do not want to say yes anymore. Maybe the truth is, I want to be loved for who I am, not for what I provide. Maybe the truth is, I have been afraid to be rejected. Maybe the truth is, I do not know who I am without everyone's expectations, but I am willing to find out. That honesty is healing. It does not have to be loud. It only has to be real. Your inner world begins to change when you stop treating your own heart like the last thing on the list. For a long time, you may have asked, what do they need from me? Now begin asking, what is true for me? What brings me peace? What feels loving to my body? What kind of life feels honest? What am I doing only because I fear judgment? What would I choose if I trusted myself? These questions are not selfish. They are sacred. They guide you back to the self you left behind. There may be people who do not understand your change. Some people benefited from your lack of boundaries. Some people liked you better when you never disagreed. Some people felt comfortable when you stayed small. When you begin to accept yourself, they may feel confused. They may call you different. They may say you have changed, and perhaps you have. Perhaps you are finally changing back into the person you were before fear taught you to hide. Do not let their discomfort become your cage. Growth often makes others uncomfortable when they are used to your old shape. But you are not here to stay small, so others do not have to grow. You are not here to remain tired, so others do not feel challenged. You are not here to betray yourself, so others never feel disappointed. Your freedom matters. Your peace matters. Your life matters. Say this softly within yourself. I am allowed to stop carrying the weight of other people's approval. I am allowed to listen to my own heart. I am allowed to be honest with myself. These words are simple, but they are powerful. They begin to loosen the old fear. They remind your body that you do not have to live on guard. They remind your heart that it is safe to return. As you release the hidden weight, you may feel both relief and sadness. Relief because you are coming home. Sadness because you may see how long you have lived away from yourself. Be gentle with that sadness. Do not use it to blame yourself. Use it as proof that your heart is waking up. Every feeling that rises is asking for kindness. Every tear, every ache, every memory is part of the return. My dear, you have carried other people's approval for long enough. You have tried to be good enough, calm enough, pleasing enough, useful enough, silent enough, strong enough. But you were enough before all of that. You were enough before the mask. You were enough before the pleasing. You were enough before the fear. The work now is not to become worthy. The work now is to stop living as if you are not. Approval is a moving target. That is why it can never become the foundation of your peace. Today, someone may praise you. Tomorrow, that same person may question you. Today, they may like your choice. Tom, Oro, they may not understand it. Today, they may say, you are wonderful. Tomorrow, they may be lost in their own pain and unable to see you clearly. If you build your worth on approval, your heart will always feel unsafe because it will depend on something that changes from person to person, mood to mood, moment to moment. Other people's opinions are not pure truth. They are filtered through their own fears, memories, beliefs, wounds, expectations, and limits. When someone looks at you, they do not always see you as you are. Sometimes they see what they fear. Sometimes they see what they want from you. Sometimes they see the version of you they created in their mind. Sometimes they see their own pain and place it on you. This is why you must be careful not to hand them the power to define your life. A person can misunderstand you, and you can still be honest. A person can judge you, and you can still be worthy. A person can disapprove, and you can still be guided. A person can leave, and you can still be loved by life. Their reaction is not your identity. Their opinion is not your soul. Their approval is not the key to your freedom. The key has always been inside you. Many people spend years trying to get approval from people who cannot give it in the way the heart needs. They wait for a parent to finally say, I am proud of you. They wait for a partner to finally say, you are enough. They wait for friends, family, co-workers, or strangers to confirm that they are lovable. And there is tenderness in that waiting. It is human to want to be seen. It is human to want to be blessed by the people we care about. But if you wait forever for someone else to give you the words your soul needs, you may forget that you can begin speaking those words to yourself now. This is not about pretending you do not care. It is about choosing not to be controlled by what others can or cannot give. Some people may never understand your heart because they have not understood their own. Some people may never approve of your path because it does not match their idea of safety. Some people may judge your healing because your freedom reminds them of the places where they still feel trapped. That does not mean you must stop healing. It means you must stop asking wounded eyes to give you a clear reflection. Your worth does not rise when someone praises you. Your worth does not fall when someone criticizes you. Your worth is steady because it comes from something deeper than opinion. It comes from the truth that you are life expressing itself. You are not an accident. You are not a mistake. You are not here to win permission to exist. You are here to remember the love that has always been within you. When you understand this, approval loses its grip. You may still enjoy kind words, but you no longer depend on them. You may still listen to advice, but you no longer abandon your inner knowing. You may still care about connection, but you no longer confuse connection with obedience. This is maturity of T, He spirit. This is emotional freedom. This is the moment you begin to stand inside yourself. The truth is that approval can feel sweet, but self-approval feels steady. Praise can brighten the day, but self-acceptance can change a life. Being liked can feel comforting, but being at peace with yourself is deeper. When you approve of yourself, you do not need to perform for every room. You enter life with a calmer energy. You no longer scan every face to see if you are allowed. You no longer twist every sentence to avoid judgment. You no longer live like your worth is on trial. Let yourself imagine what that would feel like. To wake up and not begin the day by wondering who you must please. To choose your clothes because they feel like you, not because they will impress someone. To speak honestly without rehearsing every possible reaction. To rest without guilt. To make choices that honor your heart. To walk away from spaces where you are only accepted when you are small. To hear criticism and not collapse. To hear praise and not become addicted. To live from a place within that says, I know who I am. This kind of freedom does not make you careless. It makes you honest. It does not make you selfish. It makes you whole. It does not make you distant from love. It makes you able to love without fear. When you no longer need approval to feel safe, you can meet people more clearly. You do not need to control their response. You do not need to win them. You do not need to become what they want. You can simply be present, real, and kind. There is a deep difference between learning from feedback and living for approval. Feedback can help you grow. Approval seeking makes you shrink. Feedback can be received with dignity. Approval seeking makes you feel desperate. Feedback says, here is something to consider. Approval seeking says, change yourself or you will not be loved. You are allowed to listen to others without making them your master. You are allowed to grow without becoming a prisoner of their expectations. Sometimes you may ask, but how do I know if I am living from truth or from the need for approval? Listen to the body. The body often knows before the mind admits it. Truth may feel brave, even if it feels uncomfortable. Approval seeking often feels tight, anxious, and heavy. Truth may bring a clean kind of nervousness because you are stepping into honesty. Approval seeking brings confusion because you are trying to become many different people for many different expectations. Truth brings you closer to yourself. Approval seeking pulls you away from yourself. If you have lived for approval for a long time, self-acceptance may feel strange in the beginning. You may feel guilty when you choose yourself. You may feel selfish when you set a boundary. You may feel nervous when you stop over-explaining. This does not mean you are doing something wrong. It means your inner system is learning a new safety. It means the old pattern is being gently replaced. Be patient with yourself. You are not failing because freedom feels unfamiliar. You are simply learning to live without chains. Say this within yourself with kindness. I release the need to be approved by everyone. I accept myself as I am. I trust my own heart. I am safe to be real. Let the words become a new inner home. Let them remind you that approval is not your oxygen. You can breathe without it. You can stand without it. You can choose without it. You can live without constantly asking, am I acceptable now? There will be times when someone's disapproval still hurts. That is natural. You have a heart. You are not made of stone. Healing does not mean you never feel pain. It means pain no longer becomes your master. If someone rejects your truth, you can feel the ache without returning to self-betrayal. If someone misunderstands you, you can feel sadness without abandoning yourself. If someone judges you, you can feel discomfort without handing them your worth. Your inner voice must become stronger than the noise around you, not louder in a harsh way, stronger in a peaceful way, a voice that says, I know who I am learning, I am growing, I am allowed to be imperfect, I am allowed to be seen, I am allowed to choose what is right for me. I am allowed to accept myself even while I am still becoming. This voice is not pride. It is self-love. It is the voice you may have waited to hear from others. Now it is rising from within you. Think of all the energy you will receive back when you stop trying to manage approval. Energy that was spent overthinking can return to creativity. Energy that was spent pleasing can return to joy. Energy that was spent hiding can return to expression. Energy that was spent fearing judgment can return to peace. You do not realize how much of yourself has been tied up in trying to be accepted until you begin to loosen those ties. And as you loosen them, life starts to feel different. You may notice a deeper breath in your chest, a little more space in your mind, a softer way of standing, a clearer way of speaking. You may begin to enjoy your own company again. You may begin to hear your own desires again. you may begin to remember that your life is not a performance. It is a sacred relationship between you and the truth inside you. Approval from others can be pleasant, but it is not your source. Your source is deeper. Your source is the life within you. Your source is the love that does not leave when someone misunderstands you. Your source is the quiet wisdom that says, I am still worthy. I am still loved. I am still allowed. I am still myself. Return to that source again and again. Let it feed you more than praise. Let it steady you more than opinions. Let it free you more than acceptance from the outside world ever could. My dear, the truth about approval is simple. It comes and goes. It changes. It cannot hold the full weight of your soul. Do not place your whole life in hands that may not know how to hold it gently. Place your life back into your own loving awareness. Place your worth back where it belongs. Place your peace back inside your own heart. Then you can walk through the world with love, not fear. You can meet others with kindness, not desperation. You can receive praise with gratitude and criticism with calm. You can belong to yourself, and from that belonging, you can finally begin to feel free. There is a reason you learned to look outside yourself for approval. You did not begin that way because you were weak. You did not begin that way because something was wrong with you. You began that way because somewhere along the path, your heart learned that being accepted felt safer than being honest. Your younger self wanted love. Your younger self wanted peace. Your younger self wanted to feel close, protected, and wanted. And when love felt uncertain, the mind began searching for ways to keep it. It learned to watch. It learned to adjust. It learned to become what others seemed to need. Maybe you learned that love came when you were quiet. Maybe you learned that praise came when you were useful. Maybe you learned that peace came when you did not ask for much. Maybe you learned that being yourself brought criticism, but being pleasing brought approval. So your heart made a choice, not from wisdom, but from survival. It said, I will become easy. I will become good. I will become whatever keeps me safe. That was not foolish. That was not shameful. That was a tender part of you trying to protect you in the only way it knew. This is why you must be gentle with yourself now. Do not judge the part of you that wanted approval. Do not speak harshly to the part of you that learned to please. That part has carried you through many moments. That part helped you avoid anger. That part helped you feel included. That part helped you survive places where love felt conditional. But now, what once protected you may be limiting you. What once helped you stay safe may now be keeping you from feeling free. There comes a time when the soul must turn toward the old pattern and say, thank you for trying to protect me, but I do not need to live this way anymore. I do not need to earn love by disappearing. I do not need to keep peace by betraying myself. I do not need to make myself small to stay connected. I can be safe and honest. I can be kind and real. I can belong to myself and still love others. Approval seeking often begins in a place where the heart felt unsure. A child does not naturally think, I must prove my worth. A child is born open. A child reaches for love freely. A child laughs loudly, cries honestly, asks for what it needs, and expresses without shame. But if that child is corrected too harshly, ignored too often, compared too much, or loved only when it behaves a certain way, the child begins to adjust. It begins to believe, maybe the real me is too much. Maybe my feelings are a problem. Maybe I must become better before I am loved. And those beliefs do not simply disappear when the body grows old. Shathun. They can follow you quietly into adulthood. They can sit inside your choices. They can shape the way you speak in relationships, the way you behave at work, the way you show up in family, the way you look at yourself in the mirror. You may become an adult with responsibilities, skills, strength, and a life that looks fine from the outside, while still carrying a small inner voice that asks, am I allowed to be me? My dear, that voice needs love, not criticism, not pressure. Love. The part of you that seeks approval is not your enemy. It is a part of you that has been afraid. It is the part that believes rejection would be too painful. It is the part that thinks conflict means danger. It is the part that learned to earn closeness by performing. And now, instead of fighting that part, you can begin to comfort it. You can say, I understand why you learned this. I understand why you were afraid. But we are not living in that old story anymore. We are learning a new way. This new way begins with safety inside yourself. When you feel safe within, the need for approval begins to soften. You do not need everyone to agree with you before you trust yourself. You do not need everyone to like your choices before you make them. You do not need to be praised before you feel proud. You begin to build a quiet place within you that does not fall apart when someone is unhappy with you. This is not coldness. This is inner strength. This is peace. Maybe you were taught that being loved meant never disappointing anyone. But that is not love. That is control wearing the name of love. Real love allows truth. Real love allows growth. Real love allows boundaries. Real love does not need you to become a smaller version of yourself. If someone only feels comfortable when you ignore your own heart, then their comfort is being built on your pain. You are allowed to see that clearly now. You may have learned approval seeking through simple daily messages. Be nice. Do not upset anyone. Do not talk back. Do not be difficult. Do not ask for too much. Do not be sensitive. Do not dream too big. Do not make others uncomfortable. These messages may have sounded normal, but over time they taught you to leave yourself. They taught you that being accepted mattered more than being honest. They taught you that your value depended on how little trouble you caused. But your life is not meant to be measured by how little space you take. You are allowed to take up space with your feelings, your needs, your voice, your joy, your grief, your dreams, and your truth. You are allowed to be human. You are allowed to be learning. You are allowed to be unfinished. You are allowed to be seen before you feel perfect. You do not have to wait until you are easier, calmer, stronger, prettier, richer, or more successful before you accept yourself. Self-acceptance is not a prize you win at the end. It is the ground you stand on while you grow. Sometimes people seek approval because they fear being alone. They think, if I become who they want, they will stay. If I agree, they will love me. If I never ask for anything, they will not leave. But the pain of self-abandonment is also a form of loneliness. You can be surrounded by people and still feel deeply alone if none of them know the real you. You can be praised and still feel empty if the praise is for the mask. You can be accepted by others and still feel rejected inside if you are the one rejecting yourself. This is why healing approval seeking is not only about other people. It is about your relationship with yourself. It is about learning to stay with yourself when others disagree. It is about learning to speak kindly to yourself when someone misunderstands you. It is about learning to hold your own hand when you feel the old fear rising. It is about becoming the safe place you spent so long searching for outside. There may be moments when you still feel pulled back into the old way. Someone may look disappointed and your chest may tighten. Someone may question you and your mind may begin explaining. Someone may not reply warmly and you may wonder what you did wrong. This is where the healing becomes real. Not in pretending you never feel fear, but in choosing not to obey fear every time it speaks. You can notice the fear and still return to yourself. You can feel the old pattern and still choose the new truth. The new truth is simple. You are safe to be yourself. You are safe to have needs. You are safe to have a different opinion. You are safe to choose peace. You are safe to grow beyond old roles. You are safe to disappoint people when disappointing them means being honest with yourself. You are safe to stop carrying the job of keeping everyone comfortable. You are safe to come home to your own heart. Let this be the loving message you give to the younger part of you. You do not have to perform anymore. You do not have to earn love by being perfect. You do not have to hide your feelings to be accepted. You do not have to keep everyone happy to be safe. I am here now. I will listen to you. I will protect you with truth. I will love you even when others do not understand. Can you feel how kind that is? Can you feel how healing it is to stop fighting yourself? The part of you that seeks approval does not need to be punished. It needs to be taught that love can exist without performance. It needs to be shown that peace can exist without self-betrayal. It needs to feel your own acceptance again and again until it begins to trust that you will no longer abandon yourself. This is where freedom starts to grow. It grows in the moment you understand your pattern with compassion. It grows when you stop calling yourself weak and begin seeing how much you survived. It grows when you say, I learned this to stay safe, but now I choose something kinder. It grows when you stop making your old wounds your identity. Yes, you may have learned to eke approval, but you can also learn to approve of yourself. You can learn to stand in your own truth. You can learn to live from your own center. The old story may say, I must be liked to be safe. The new truth says, I am safe within myself. The old story may say, I must please them to be loved. The new truth says, I am already worthy of love. The old story may say, I must hide what I feel. The new truth says, my feelings deserve kindness. The old story may say, I am only enough when others say I am. The new truth says, I was enough before anyone had an opinion. Let these truths become familiar. Let them become the new language of your inner world. You do not need to force them. You do not need to fight the old pattern with anger. You only need to keep returning to love. Return when fear speaks. Return when guilt rises. Return when you feel tempted to shrink. Return when someone's reaction feels loud. Return to the simple truth. I accept myself. I am safe to be myself. I no longer need to live as a performance for approval. My dear, the reason you learn to seek approval may be painful, but it does not have to be your future. You can honor the child who learned to please and still choose a freer life now. You can bless the old survival pattern and still put it down. You can love the part that was afraid and still become someone who lives with courage. You can stop living from the question, do they approve of me? And begin living from the deeper question, am I being true to the life within me? That question will guide you back. It will guide you toward relationships where you can breathe. It will guide you toward choices that feel honest. It will guide you toward a peace that does not depend on applause. It will guide you toward the beautiful truth that your worth was never lost. It was only covered by fear. And now, layer by layer with love, you are uncovering it again. The moment you choose yourself is not always loud. It may not look dramatic. It may not come with everyone clapping. Sometimes it is a quiet moment inside your own heart where you finally stop asking, what will they think? And begin asking, what is true for me? That small shift can change the whole direction of your life. It is the moment you stop living as if your soul needs permission. It is the moment you stop leaving yourself at the door of other people's approval. It is the moment you begin to return. Choosing yourself does not mean rejecting everyone else. It does not mean becoming selfish, harsh, or careless. It means refusing to abandon your own heart in order to keep a false peace. It means choosing honesty over performance. It means choosing self-respect over fear. It means choosing inner freedom over the temporary comfort of being liked. It means saying, I can love others, but I will not lose myself to be loved. For many people, this is the hardest part. Not because they do not know they are tired, but because they have been trained to believe that choosing themselves is wrong. They may hear an inner voice saying, Who do you think you are? Why should your needs matter? What if they get upset? What if they leave? What if they call you selfish? And my dear, those fears may feel strong. But fear is not always truth. Sometimes fear is only an old echo from a time when you did not feel safe to be real. The moment you choose yourself, you begin to break that old echo. You tell your body, I am not in danger because I have a need. I am not wrong because I have a boundary. I am not bad because I want peace. I am not unloving because I am honest. This is a deep healing. It reaches into places where you once felt small and begins to bring them warmth. It tells the hidden parts of you, you can come out now. You do not have to hide anymore. Self-acceptance is the turning point because it gives you what approval never could, a home inside yourself. Approval can come and go, but self-acceptance stays. Approval may depend on how others feel, what they expect, and how they judge you. Self-acceptance comes from your own decision to stop being at war with yourself. It says, I may be imperfect, but I'm still worthy. I may be learning, but I am still lovable. I may have made mistakes, but I am still allowed to grow. I may not be understood by everyone, but I will no longer misunderstand myself. There is great power in this. When you accept yourself, you no longer need to chase every person who pulls away. You no longer need to beg for clarity from people who keep you confused. You no longer need to change your personality to fit into places that make your spirit feel small. You no longer need to perform happiness when your heart is tired. You no longer need to prove that you deserve kindness. You begin to live from a new center. This new center is calm. It does not shout. It does not attack. It does not need to win every argument. It simply knows. It knows your life matters. It knows your peace matters. It knows your truth matters. It knows you can be gentle and still choose yourself. It knows you can be loving and still walk away. It knows you can forgive and still set a boundary. It knows you can care deeply and still stop carrying what is not yours. Choosing yourself may begin with simple, honest moments. You may admit that you are tired. You may admit that something hurts. You may admit that a relationship does not feel safe. You may admit that you have been saying yes from fear. You may admit that you have been waiting for someone else to approve of a dream your soul has already chosen. These honest moments are sacred. They are not small. They are doors. Each time you tell yourself the truth, another door opens. Each time you respect your own feeling, another chain loosens. Each time you refuse to shame yourself for being human, another layer of fear softens. This is how freedom grows. Not by becoming perfect, but by becoming honest. Not by pleasing everyone, but by learning to stay with yourself. Maybe the old version of you would have asked, "Ed, will they still like me if I do this?" But the healing version begins to ask, "Will I still feel at peace with myself if I do not?" Maybe the old version asked, "How do I make them understand?" The healing version asks, "Do I understand myself?" Maybe the old version asked, "How do I avoid disappointing them?" The healing version asks, "How do I stop disappointing my own heart?" This is not easy, but it is freeing. There may be grief in it. You may grieve the years you spent living for others. You may grieve the dreams you postponed. You may grieve the voice you silenced. You may grieve the ways you turned against yourself to keep love. Let that grief be met with kindness. It is not here to punish you. It is here because your heart is finally feeling safe enough to tell the truth. Grief is often the doorway to deeper self-love. It shows you what mattered. It shows you what was lost. And then it helps you choose differently. You can choose differently now. You can choose to stop explaining your worth to people who are committed to seeing you through old eyes. You can choose to stop apologizing for your growth. You can choose to stop shrinking before you enter a room. You can choose to stop waiting for permission to become the person your soul already knows you are. You can choose to stand beside yourself instead of leaving yourself behind. Let this truth become steady in you. I choose myself with love. I no longer leave myself to please others. I honor the life within me. I am allowed to be real. These words are not against anyone. They are for you. They are for the part of you that has been waiting to be chosen by your own heart. They are for the part of you that has given so much away and now needs to be held. They are for the part of you that wants to live freely, softly, honestly. When you choose yourself, your energy changes. You stop giving from emptiness and begin giving from truth. You stop saying yes to be accepted and begin saying yes when your heart is clear. You stop saying no with guilt and begin saying no with peace. You stop looking for your value in reactions and begin feeling it in your own breath. Your whole life begins to feel less like a performance and more like a return. Some people may not understand this return. They may say you are different. They may question your new boundaries. They may miss the version of you that never challenged them. Let them have their feelings. You do not need to turn their discomfort into your responsibility. You can be kind without becoming available for old patterns. You can listen without surrendering your truth. You can love without becoming smaller. This is where many people lose courage. They begin to choose themselves, then someone reacts, and the old fear returns. The body says, "Go back, make it right, make them happy, become acceptable again." But healing asks for a new response, a softer, stronger response. It asks you to stay. Stay with your truth. Stay with your body. Stay with the part of you that is afraid. Remind yourself that discomfort is not always danger. Sometimes discomfort is simply the feeling of growing beyond an old cage. You are allowed to outgrow roles that were built from fear. You are allowed to stop being the one who always understands, always bends, always fixes, always accepts less. You are allowed to become someone who asks, "Does this honor me too?" You are allowed to become someone who no longer confuses love with self-loss. You are allowed to become someone who can stand in the quiet truth of their own being and say, "I am enough here. I am enough now. I am enough without proving." Choosing yourself also means forgiving yourself for the times you did not. This is important. Do not look back at your past self with anger. That version of you was doing the best it could with the safety it had. That version of you wanted love. That version of you did not yet know there was another way. Bless that version. Thank that version. Hold that version with compassion. Then tell yourself, we are learning a new way now. The new way is not about becoming hard. It is about becoming whole. It is about letting your yes mean yes and your no mean no. It is about resting when you are tired without needing to justify your exhaustion. It is about letting yourself be seen without hiding the parts that are still healing. It is about speaking to yourself as if you are someone worthy of love because you are. It is about building a life where your own soul is not treated like a stranger. Imagine the peace of no longer asking everyone else to tell you who you are. Imagine the calm of making choices from truth instead of fear. Imagine the softness of resting in your own approval. Imagine walking into your day with the quiet knowledge that you do not have to perform to be worthy. This is possible. It may come gently. It may come through many small choices, but it is possible. Every time you choose yourself with love, you step closer to it. And let this be clear. Choosing yourself does not mean you will never feel afraid. It means you will no longer let fear make every decision. It does not mean you will never want approval. It means you will no longer trade your truth to get it. It does not mean you will never care what others think. It means you will care more about whether you are living honestly. It does not mean you become perfect. It means you become present with yourself. This presence is where freedom begins. You begin to notice your own needs before resentment grows. You begin to speak before silence becomes pain. You begin to rest before your body breaks down. You begin to choose spaces where you can breathe. You begin to let go of people who only love your obedience. You begin to welcome people who love your truth. And slowly, the life around you begins to match the life inside you. My dear, the moment you choose yourself is the moment you stop being a stranger to your own soul. It is the moment you stop begging for a seat, tea tables where your spirit feels hungry. It is the moment you stop asking the world to approve what life has already made sacred. You are sacred. Your heart is sacred. Your voice is sacred. Your path is sacred. You do not need to become someone else to deserve peace. So choose yourself, not as an act of rejection, but as an act of love. Choose yourself when it feels easy. Choose yourself when it feels uncomfortable. Choose yourself when the old fear returns. Choose yourself when you are tempted to shrink. Choose yourself when your heart whispers, "Please do not leave me again." Answer that whisper with love. I am here. I am staying. I choose you now. There are parts of you that have been waiting a long time to be welcomed. Parts you learned to hide because someone called them too sensitive, too quiet, too loud, too emotional, too different, too dreamy, too honest, too soft, or too strong. Parts you tucked away because you thought they made you less lovable. Parts you tried to fix because you believed they were the reason people judged you. But what if those parts were never the problem? What if they were only waiting for your love? Self-acceptance means opening the door to the parts of yourself you once rejected. Not only the polished parts, not only the parts that receive praise, not only the parts that perform well in public, all of you. The tender parts, the unsure parts, the grieving parts, the angry parts, the creative parts, the tired parts, the hopeful parts, the parts that still feel young inside, the parts that still want to be held, the parts that made mistakes and still need forgiveness, the parts that are growing slowly. All of them belong. You do not become free by cutting pieces of yourself away. You become free by bringing yourself back together with love. For so long, you may have believed that acceptance would come after you removed everything others disliked. After you became calmer, prettier, stronger, more successful, more useful, less emotional, less needy, less different. But that is not acceptance. That is endless self-rejection dressed as self-improvement. Real acceptance begins here in this moment with the self that exists now. This does not mean you do not grow. It does not mean you do not change. It means you stop using shame as the reason for change. You can grow from love. You can heal from love. You can become better while still being kind to who you are today. A flower does not hate itself into blooming. It grows because life moves through it. You also grow best when you are held in love, not when you are attacked by your own thoughts. Maybe you have hidden your sensitivity. Maybe you were told you feel too much. Maybe you learned to act like things did not hurt, even when they did. But sensitivity is not weakness. It is your ability to feel deeply, to notice, to care, to connect, to sense the truth beneath words. When sensitivity is protected with self-respect, it becomes wisdom. You do not need to harden your heart to serve IV. You only need to learn how to care for it. Maybe you have hidden your needs. Maybe you learned that needing comfort, attention, rest, help, or understanding made you difficult. So you became someone who could handle everything alone. You became someone who said, "I am fine," even when your heart was asking for support. My dear, having needs does not make you weak. It makes you human. You are allowed to need tenderness. You are allowed to need space. You are allowed to need love. You are allowed to ask for care without feeling ashamed. Maybe you have hidden your voice. Maybe you learned that speaking your truth created conflict. Maybe you were ignored, laughed at, corrected, or punished when you tried to express yourself. So you became quiet. You began swallowing words. You began agreeing on the outside while aching on the inside. But your voice is part of your life force. It is not wrong. It is not dangerous. It is not too much. Your voice can be loving and honest at the same time. Your voice can be gentle and clear. Your voice deserves to exist. Maybe you have hidden your dreams. Maybe someone told you they were unrealistic. Maybe someone made you feel foolish for wanting more. Maybe you learned to choose what looked safe instead of what felt alive. But your dreams are not random. They are messages from the deeper part of you. They show you where your energy wants to grow. They show you what kind of life wants to move through you. You do not need everyone to understand your dreams before you honor them. Some dreams must be protected quietly before they are ready to be shared. Maybe you have hidden your past. Maybe you carry shame about choices you made, things you allowed, ways you stayed too long, words you did not say, moments when you did not know your worth. But your past is not proof that you are broken. It is proof that you have lived, learned, survived, and continued. You are allowed to forgive the version of you who did not know what you know now. You are allowed to stop using old pain as a reason to reject yourself. You are allowed to say, "I did not always choose myself, but I am choosing myself now." Maybe you have hidden your body. Maybe you have looked at yourself through eyes that were never kind. Maybe you learned to see flaws before beauty. Maybe you spoke to your body as if it were an enemy. But your body has carried you through every day of your life. It has breathed for you, held your grief, moved you through the world, survived stress, held memories, and kept going even when your mind was unkind. Your body deserves respect. Your body deserves peace. Your body does not need hatred. It needs friendship. Maybe you have hidden your emotions. Maybe anger felt unsafe. Maybe sadness felt shameful. Maybe joy felt too exposed. Maybe love felt risky. So you learned to control, cover, and silence what moved inside you. But emotions are not enemies. They are messengers. They tell you where you hurt, where you care, where you need change, where you need comfort, where something matters. You do not need to be ruled by every emotion, but you also do not need to reject them. You can listen with kindness. You can let them move without letting them define you. Accepting yourself means saying to all these hidden places, you are welcome here. You do not have to hide from me anymore. I may not understand every part of myself yet, but I am willing to meet myself with love. This willingness changes everything. It turns the inner world from a battlefield into a home. It teaches the nervous system that it does not have to guard every doorway. It tells the heart that it is safe to soften. It tells the mind that healing does not require rejection. For many people, the hardest part of self-acceptance is accepting what is still unfinished. They think they can only love themselves after they are fully healed. But healing does not work that way. Love is not the reward for healing. Love is what makes healing possible. You do not wait until the wound is gone to offer care. You offer care because the wound is there. You do not wait until the fear disappears to be kind to yourself. You bring kindness to the fear. You do not wait until you feel complete to accept yourself. Acceptance helps you remember that you are already whole, even while parts of you are still learning. You are allowed to be a work in progress without treating yourself like a problem. You are allowed to be both strong and tired. You are allowed to be both grateful and sad. You are allowed to be both healing and hurting. You are allowed to love yourself and still have days when self-love feels difficult. You are allowed to be human without making humanity a failure. The world may have taught you to divide yourself into acceptable and unacceptable parts. This part can be shown. This part must be hidden. This part can be praised. This part must be fixed. But the soul does not heal through division. The soul heals through wholeness. Every part of you needs to be brought into the light of compassion. Not every habit needs to remain. Not every pattern needs to continue. But every part of you deserves to be met with understanding. There is a beautiful difference between saying, "This pattern is hurting me," and saying, "I am bad." There is a beautiful difference between saying, "I want to grow," and saying, "I am not enough." There is a beautiful difference between saying, "I made a mistake," and saying, "I am a mistake." Self-acceptance teaches you that you can take responsibility without shame. You can change without self-hate. You can learn without making yourself wrong. This is how freedom deepens. You stop hiding from yourself. You stop pretending to be unaffected. You stop wearing a mask even in your own mind. You begin to look inward with kindness and say, "Here I am. This is what I feel. This is what I need. This is what I fear. This is what I want. This is what I am ready to release. Is what I am ready to love." That honesty is sacred. It brings you back into connection with your own spirit. There may be parts of yourself you still struggle to accept. That is okay. Self-acceptance does not always arrive all at once. Sometimes it begins as a small willingness. I am willing to stop hating this part of me. I am willing to understand it. I am willing to be kinder. I am willing to see myself differently. Willingness opens the heart without pressure. It gives healing room to move. Let these words become a soft place inside you. I accept all parts of myself with kindness and patience. I welcome myself home. I do not need to hide from my own love. I am safe to be whole. Feel the gentleness of that. This is not a demand. This is not a performance. This is an invitation back into your own arms. As you accept the parts you used to hide, something powerful happens. The need for outside approval becomes weaker. Because so much approval seeking comes from the fear that if people saw the real you, they would reject you. But when you begin to see the real you and respond with love, the fear starts to lose its power. You become less dependent on being accepted by everyone because you are no longer rejecting yourself. You become less afraid of being seen because you are no longer hiding from your own eyes. This does not mean everyone will understand you. It means you will stop needing everyone to. This does not mean everyone will celebrate your truth. It means you will stop using their reaction as the measure of your worth. This does not mean you will never feel vulnerable. It means vulnerability will no longer feel like proof that something is wrong with you. You will understand that being real is brave. Being honest is healing. Being yourself is freedom. Imagine living without constantly editing your soul. Imagine speaking without cutting away the truth. Imagine resting without guilt. Imagine looking at your own face with tenderness. Imagine no longer apologizing for being sensitive, deep, thoughtful, emotional, creative, quiet, bold, or different. Imagine waking up and feeling that you do not have to become someone else before you are allowed to begin the day. This is what self-acceptance offers. Not perfection, peace. You are not here to become a copy of someone else's comfort. You are here to become more deeply yourself. The parts you used to hide may hold your greatest softness, your greatest wisdom, your greatest creativity, your greatest power. The sensitivity you were ashamed of may become compassion. The voice you silenced may become truth. The dreams you buried may become direction. The wounds you feared may become places where light enters. Nothing within you is wasted when it is met with love. So bring yourself back. Bring back the voice. Bring back the dream. Bring back the feeling. Bring back the softness. Bring back the courage. Bring back the laughter. Bring back the part of you that used to feel alive before approval became more important than truth. You do not need to return all at once. You only need to stop pushing yourself away. Let your inner world become a place where you are welcome. My dear, life did not create you by mistake. Your nature is not an error. Your heart is not too much. Your path is not wrong because others do not understand it. You are allowed to accept yourself before the world agrees. You are allowed to love yourself before you feel fully healed. You are allowed to be free before everyone approves of your freedom. You are allowed to stop hiding. And as you stop hiding, you will feel the beautiful relief of coming home. A relief in the chest, a softening in the face, a deeper honesty in the way you move through the world. You may still be learning. You may still feel fear sometimes. You may still meet old habits. But now you have a new truth to return to. I accept myself. I accept my heart. I accept my healing. I accept the whole of who I am becoming. This is the freedom you were looking for. Not the freedom of being approved by everyone, but the freedom of no longer abandoning yourself. Not the freedom of being perfect, but the freedom of being real. Not the freedom of being understood by every person, but the freedom of understanding and loving yourself. And from that love, life begins to open in a new way. There is a quiet fear that keeps many hearts trapped. It is the fear of disappointing others. It may not always speak loudly, but it can control so much of life. It can make you say yes when your whole body is asking for rest. It can make you stay silent when your truth is waiting at your lips. It can make you give more than you have, smile when you are tired, agree when your heart says no, and carry the guilt of other people's emotions as if they belong to you. My dear, if you have lived this way, you are not alone. Many people have been taught that love means never disappointing anyone. But this is not love. This is fear wearing the clothing of love. You can love people and still disappoint them. You can care deeply and still choose yourself. You can be a good person and still say no. You can be kind and still have limits. You can be gentle and still walk away from what hurts your peace. Disappointing someone does not always mean you have done something wrong. Sometimes it only means you have stopped playing the role they expected you to keep playing. Sometimes it means you are no longer available for old patterns. Sometimes it means you are finally listening to your own soul. For a long time, you may have believed that if someone felt upset with you, then you must be guilty. If someone looked unhappy, you must fix it. If someone became distant, you must chase. If someone criticized you, you must explain yourself until they understood. But other people's feelings are not always your responsibility. You can be loving toward their feelings without becoming controlled by them. You can care about their pain without making your own truth disappear. This is where many people confuse kindness with people-pleasing. Kindness comes from love. People-pleasing comes from fear. Kindness feels open. People-pleasing feels tight. Kindness gives freely. People-pleasing gives to avoid rejection. Kindness respects both people. People-pleasing abandons the self. Kindness says, I care about you, and I also care about me. People-pleasing says, I will forget myself so you will not be upset. You are allowed to stop confusing these two. You are allowed to be kind without becoming empty. You are allowed to be loving without becoming available for everything. You are allowed to care without carrying. You are allowed to support others without becoming the place where they place every burden. Your love does not become less real when it has boundaries. In fact, love becomes cleaner when it is no longer mixed with fear. The fear of disappointing others often begins with guilt. You may feel guilty for resting, guilty for saying no, guilty for needing space, guilty for changing, guilty for having your own dreams, guilty for choosing something others do not understand. But guilt is not always proof that you are doing something wrong. Sometimes guilt is only a sign that you are doing something new. If you were trained to abandon yourself, then choosing yourself may feel wrong in the beginning. That does not mean it is wrong. It means your heart is learning a new way. Guilt can be very convincing. It may tell you that you are selfish. It may tell you that you are hurting people. It may tell you that you must go back to the old way to be safe. But self-respect is not selfish. Rest is not selfish. Boundaries are not selfish. Honesty is not selfish. Protecting your peace is not selfish. You are not here to live as a servant to everyone's expectations. You are here to live in truth, in love, and in alignment with the life inside you. There may be people who were comfortable with your old self-abandonment. They may have liked when you never said no. They may have liked when you always answered, always agreed, always gave, always fixed, always understood, always softened your truth. When you begin to change, they may feel disappointed. They may not know what to do with your boundaries. They may call your healing selfish because it no longer serves their comfort. But my dear, their discomfort does not mean your growth is wrong. Growth changes relationships. It reveals which connections were built on truth and which were built on your silence. It reveals who loves the real you and who only loved your usefulness. It reveals who can respect your peace and who expects you to sacrifice it. This can be painful, but it is also freeing. Because every time you stop betraying yourself, life begins to show you what is real. You do not need to become harsh to release the fear of disappointing others. You can speak softly. You can choose peace. You can say, I cannot do that. You can say, this does not feel right for me. You can say, I need time. You can say, I love you, but I cannot abandon myself. You can say, I understand you are upset, and I still need to honor my truth. These words may feel unfamiliar, but they are healing. They teach your body that honesty can be safe. They teach your heart that love does not require disappearance. You have spent so long trying to keep others from feeling discomfort, but sometimes discomfort is part of their growth. When you stop overgiving, someone else may need to learn responsibility. When you stop explaining yourself, someone else may need to sit with their own assumptions. When you stop accepting hurtful behavior, someone else may need to face the truth of how they treat you. You are not unkind for allowing others to meet their own lessons. You are not cruel for stepping out of a pattern that was harming you. There is a deep freedom in realizing you do not have to manage every reaction. You do not have to soften every disappointment. You do not have to repair every uncomfortable silence. You do not have to make everyone feel good about your choices. You can let others have their feelings and still remain steady in your own truth. This is not coldness. This is emotional maturity. This is inner peace. If you have spent years fearing disappointment, your body may need time to trust this. When someone is unhappy with you, your heart may race. Your mind may begin searching for words to make everything better. You may feel the old urge to apologize, explain, fix, or take back your boundary. When that happens, speak to yourself with tenderness. Tell yourself, I am safe. I can be loving without giving myself away. I can allow others to feel what they feel. I can stay connected to myself. The more you practice this, the more your inner strength grows. At first, choosing yourself may feel shaky. Then it begins to feel honest. Then it begins to feel peaceful. Then it begins to feel natural. Not because you stop caring, but because you stop carrying what was never yours to carry. Your nervous system learns that you can survive someone's disappointment. Your heart learns that you can be loved without being perfectly pleasing. Your soul learns that freedom is safer than performance. There is also a quiet grief in this process. You may see how much of your life was shaped by fear of upsetting others. You may remember choices you made only to avoid judgment. You may feel sadness for all the times you swallowed your truth. Be gentle with yourself. You did what you knew. You were trying to protect love. You were trying to protect connection. You were trying to feel safe. But now you know a deeper truth. Real connection does not require your self-betrayal. You're allowed to disappoint others in order to be honest with yourself. You're allowed to choose a life that some people do not understand. You're allowed to stop explaining your healing to those who only want the old version of you back. You are allowed to let people misunderstand you while you remain at peace. Not ever. Yon is meant to walk closely with the version of you that is free. Some people only knew how to love you when you were afraid. Let that be information, not a prison. Your freedom will ask you to stop asking for permission from people who benefit from your fear. It will ask you to listen to your body. It will ask you to trust your quiet knowing. It will ask you to let others feel disappointed without turning that disappointment into a command. This is how you become free again, not by fighting, not by proving, not by becoming hard, but by staying with yourself when old fear tries to pull you away. Let these words live inside you. I can love others without losing myself. I can be kind without saying yes to everything. I can choose peace without guilt. I am allowed to honor my own life. These are not words of rejection. They are words of balance. They remind you that you are part of the relationship too. Your comfort matters. Your truth matters. Your energy matters. Your peace matters. The fear of disappointing others loses power when you begin to approve of yourself. When you can look within and say, I acted with honesty, I acted with care, I respected my own heart, then not everyone needs to agree. Their approval may feel nice, but it is no longer the ruler of your peace. You become rooted in something deeper. You become rooted in your own self-respect. My dear, you are not here to live as a shadow of other people's expectations. You are not here to keep everyone happy while your spirit grows tired. You are not here to make your life a constant apology. You are here to live with love, and love includes you. Love includes your needs. Love includes your voice. Love includes your rest. Love includes your freedom. So when the fear of disappointing others rises, meet it gently. Do not fight it. Do not shame it. Simply remind it of the truth. I am safe to be honest. I am safe to choose myself. I am safe to let others have their feelings. I am safe to live from love instead of fear. Let this truth become stronger than the old pattern. Let it guide your choices. Let it soften your guilt. Let it open the door to a life where you no longer confuse approval with love. There comes a beautiful moment in healing when you stop waiting for the world to say the words your soul needs, and you begin saying them to yourself. You stop waiting for someone to tell you that you are enough. You stop waiting for someone to approve of your choices. You stop waiting for someone to notice how hard you have tried. You become the loving voice you were searching for. You become the safe place. You become the gentle presence. You become the approval you once chased. This is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. A new inner voice, not a harsh voice, not a voice that criticizes every mistake, not a voice that compares you to others, not a voice that says you are behind, unworthy, difficult, or too much, a voice of love. A voice that speaks to you as you would speak to someone precious. A voice that says, I see you. I understand. I am here. We are learning. We are safe. We are allowed to begin again. For many people, the inner voice has been shaped by old pain. It may sound like people who judged you. It may sound like someone who made you feel small. It may sound like years of criticism gathered into a single repeating thought. You may have become so used to this voice that you think it is the truth. But it is not the truth. It is only a pattern. And patterns can be changed with love, repetition, patience, and awareness. The mind believes what it hears again and again. If you keep telling yourself that you are not enough, your body begins to live as if that is true. If you keep telling yourself that you are always wrong, your heart becomes afraid to choose. If you keep telling yourself that you must be approved by everyone, your nervous system becomes tired from constant watching. But if you begin speaking differently, something inside begins to soften. The body listens. The heart listens. The deeper mind listens. You may think words are small, but words are seeds. Every sentence you repeat inside yourself plants something. A sentence of shame plants fear. A sentence of love plants peace. A sentence of criticism plants tension. A sentence of acceptance plants freedom. You are always planting. The question is, what are you planting in the garden of your own mind? Begin with simple words, words your heart can understand. I approve of myself. I am allowed to be myself. I am enough without proving anything. I am safe to live as my true self. These words do not need to be dramatic. They only need to be steady. They are not meant to force you into pretending. They are meant to lead you gently toward truth. At first, your mind may argue. It may say, "No, that is not true." It may bring up old mistakes. It may remind you of people who judged you. It may try to pull you back into shame. Do not fight with it. Simply continue choosing the new voice. The old voice became strong because it was repeated. The new voice will become strong in the same way, with kindness, with patience, with steady return. Imagine speaking to yourself in the morning with love, not waiting to see what the world thinks of you, not beginning the day by scanning your flaws, not rushing into the needs of everyone else before you have even greeted your own heart. Imagine saying, "I am with myself today. I will not abandon myself today. I will speak to myself kindly today. I will not use my own mind as a place of punishment." What a different day that becomes. What a different energy you carry. When you become your own loving voice, your choices begin to change. You stop choosing from fear. You stop chasing people who make you doubt your worth. You stop accepting treatment that leaves your heart hungry. You stop speaking to yourself in ways that break your spirit. You begin to notice what feels nourishing. You begin to notice what feels honest. You begin to notice what feels peaceful. The new inner voice becomes a guide. This voice does not need to be loud. It is often quiet. It says, "This does not feel right." It says, "You need rest." It says, "You do not need to prove yourself here." It says, "You are allowed to leave." It says, "You are allowed to try." It says, "You are allowed to be new." It says, "You are allowed to be seen." When you listen to that voice, you begin to trust yourself again. Self-trust is built through small acts of self-honesty. Every time you listen to your own feeling, you build trust. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build trust. Every time you say no when your heart needs no, you build trust. Every time you speak kindly to yourself after a mistake, you build trust. Every time you stop asking others to define your worth, you build trust. And self-trust is freedom. Because when you trust yourself, you no longer need the whole world to agree before you can take a step. Maybe you have been waiting for someone to say, "I am proud of you." Let your own heart say it now. I am proud of you for surviving what no one saw. I am proud of you for caring so deeply. I am proud of you for wanting to heal. I am proud of you for still having love inside you after so much hurt. I am proud of you for learning to choose yourself. These words matter. They are not empty. They are medicine for the places that waited too long to be seen. Maybe you have been waiting for someone to say, "You are enough." Let your own heart say it now. You are enough in your quiet days. You are enough in your uncertain days. You are enough when you are learning. You are enough when you need support. You are enough when you make mistakes. You are enough when someone does not understand you. Your enoughness does not come and go with performance. It lives within you. Maybe you have been waiting for someone to say, "I accept you." Let your own heart say it now. I accept the parts of you that are still healing. I accept the parts of you that feel afraid. I accept the dreams you have hidden. I accept the voice you are learning to use. I accept the past you are learning to forgive. I accept the whole of you, not because you are perfect, but because you are worthy of love. This new inner voice will change how you respond to the world. When someone criticizes you, the old voice may have said, "They are right, I am wrong, I must fix myself to be loved." The new voice says, "I can consider what is useful and release what is unkind." When someone rejects you, the old voice may have said, "I am not enough." The new voice says, "Not every person is meant to hold my heart." When someone misunderstands you, the old voice may have said, "I must explain until they approve." The new voice says, "I can be at peace even when I am not fully understood." This is how self-approval becomes stronger than outside approval. Not by pretending you do not feel, not by becoming untucked, head by life, but by having a loving place inside yourself to return to. The world may be loud, but your inner voice becomes steady. People may have opinions, but your inner voice becomes kind. Life may bring change, but your inner voice becomes a home. Let your inner voice speak with simplicity. I approve of myself today. I am allowed to be myself today. I do not need to earn love by performing. I do not need to become smaller to belong. I am safe in my own acceptance. I am learning to live freely. These words help the heart remember. They help the body relax. They help the mind stop fighting. You may also begin to notice when the old voice returns. It may say, "What will they think?" It may say, "You should feel guilty." It may say, "Do not upset anyone." It may say, "Hide that part." It may say, "Stay small." When you hear it, Do not be afraid. Awareness means healing is happening. The old voice is not proof that you have failed. It is proof that there is something inside you asking to be loved into a new pattern. Answer the old voice with gentleness. Thank you for trying to protect me, but I choose love now. Thank you for warning me, but I choose truth now. Thank you for keeping me safe before, but I'm learning a new safety now. This is how the inner world changes. Not through war, but through patient love. Not through self-punishment, but through steady acceptance. Your new inner voice becomes the foundation of your freedom, because the more loving you are inside, the less desperate you become outside. You no longer need constant praise to feel okay. You no longer break apart when someone disapproves. You no longer chase people who keep your heart uncertain. You no longer hand your value to every opinion. You begin to live from the inside out, and life responds to this energy. When you approve of yourself, you begin choosing environments that feel more honest. You begin attracting people who respect your truth. You begin leaving behind situations that only worked when you abandoned yourself. You begin moving with a quiet dignity, not pride, not hardness, dignity. The dignity of someone who remembers that they are worthy of love without begging for it. My dear, speak to yourself as if your words are shaping your future, because they are. Speak to yourself as if your body is listening, because it is. Speak to yourself as if your heart needs your kindness, because it does. Do not wait for the world to become gentle before you become gentle with yourself. Begin within. Begin with the voice you use when no one else can hear. Make that voice a place of healing. Tell yourself often, I am proud of who I am becoming. I accept myself more each day. I no longer need everyone to approve of me. I live from my own truth. I am free to be myself. Let these words become familiar. Let them become the music beneath your thoughts. Let them become the place you return to when the world feels uncertain. There is a version of you waiting on the other side of self-criticism, a softer version, a freer version, a version who no longer wakes up asking how to be acceptable, a version who lives with more honesty, more calm, more trust. That version is not far away. That version begins every time you choose a kinder sentence, every time you stop attacking yourself, every time you give yourself the approval you once begged for from others. The new inner voice is not a small thing. It is a doorway. It is the sound of your soul coming back to itself. It is the end of living as your own enemy. It is the beginning of living as your own friend. And as this voice grows stronger, you will find that freedom was never waiting for everyone else to accept you. Freedom was waiting for you to stop rejecting yourself. There is a deep freedom in no longer explaining your soul to everyone. A freedom in letting your choices be peaceful without turning them into a long defense. A freedom in knowing that not every person needs to understand your path for your path to be real. A freedom in walking forward without dragging every opinion behind you. My dear, you are allowed to live without constantly proving why you are allowed to live the way you do. For so long, you may have explained everything. Why you feel the way you feel, why you need space, why something hurt you, why you changed, why you said no, why you chose a different path, why you are healing, why you are tired, why you cannot be who you used to be. And sometimes explanation is healthy. Sometimes communication builds understanding. But there is a point where explaining becomes begging. A point where you are no longer sharing your truth, but trying to convince someone that your truth deserves respect. You do not need to convince everyone. You do not need to keep presenting evidence for your worth. You do not need to turn your inner life into a courtroom. You do not need to defend every boundary, every dream, every change, every feeling. Some people will understand, some people will not. Some people will listen with love. Some people will listen only to reply. Some people will meet your truth with care. Others will meet it with resistance because it challenges the version of you they preferred. Living free means knowing the difference. It means offering your truth where there is openness and protecting your peace where there is not. It means speaking clearly, then letting go of the need to control the response. It means knowing that your life is not less valid because someone cannot understand it. It means trusting that your inner peace is enough confirmation. When you stop over-explaining, your energy begins to return. You feel less scattered. You feel less pulled apart by what everyone might think. You stop rehearsing every conversation in your mind. You stop trying to predict every reaction. You stop living as if you must keep the whole world comfortable with your growth. Instead, you begin to ask, what feels honest? What feels peaceful? What honors the life I am here to live? This is where freedom becomes practical. It shows up in small daily choices. You say no without writing a speech in your mind. You rest without making a long excuse. You choose what feels right without asking everyone to agree. You wear what feels like you. You speak with more honesty. You let silence exist without rushing to fill it. You allow others to think what they think without making their thoughts your home. At first, this may feel strange. If you have lived for approval, silence can feel dangerous. Not explaining can feel rude. Letting someone misunderstand you can feel almost impossible. But over time, you begin to understand that not every misunderstanding needs your energy. Not every judgment needs your reply. Not every opinion deserves access to your peace. You can be kind and still be private. You can be open and still be protected. You can be honest and still choose not to explain everything. There is a sacred strength in saying less when your heart is clear. You do not need to speak from fear. You do not need to chase every person who misreads you. You do not need to make yourself smaller so your truth sounds more acceptable. You can let your life speak. You can let your peace speak. You can let your consistency speak. You can let your own inner knowing be enough. Living free also means accepting that some people may only understand the old you. They may expect you to remain available for the same patterns. They may expect you to answer the same way, give the same way, shrink the same way, forgive without change the same way. When you stop, they may feel surprised. But your growth does not need to be approved by the people who benefited from your silence. You are allowed to grow beyond their comfort. You are allowed to become more honest. You are allowed to become more peaceful. You are allowed to become more selective with your energy. You are allowed to choose relationships that feel mutual. You are allowed to release roles that made your spirit tired. You are allowed to stop being the one who always understands while no one tries to understand you. You are allowed to step into a life that feels like breathing again. Your freedom begins when you stop shrinking to fit places that were never meant to hold your whole self. Read that truth with your heart. Some spaces only welcome the version of you that had no needs. Some people only praised the version of you that never said no. Some rooms only felt safe when you left your truth outside. You do not have to keep entering those places in the same old way. You can choose differently now. You can choose to stand taller in your own energy, not above others, not against others, simply rooted in yourself. You can choose to stop laughing at things that hurt you. You can choose to stop agreeing with words that do not match your heart. You can choose to stop saying you are fine when you are not. You can choose to stop making yourself easy to love by making yourself hard to find. The real you deserves to be found. The real you deserves to be heard. The real you deserves relationships where honesty does not create punishment. The real you deserves a life that does not require constant pretending. The real you deserves to move through the world without hiding behind approval. And each time you live from that truth, you become lighter. Imagine how much space opens when you stop living for reaction. You can make a choice and let it be yours. You can create something and let it be honest. You can change your life without needing every person to bless the change. You can let go of the exhausting need to be seen as good by everyone. You can simply be true. Goodness does not require performance. Love does not require self-erasure. Freedom does not require permission. Living free does not mean you will never explain anything. It means explanation becomes a choice, not a fear response. You explain when it feels loving and useful. You do not explain when it becomes self-abandonment. You share with people who can hold your truth gently. You do not hand your deepest feelings to people who only use them to judge you. You learn to protect the sacred parts of your life. This protection is not closing your heart. It is honoring your heart. A garden needs a gate, not because it hates the world, but because what grows there is precious. Your heart is precious. Your dreams are precious. Your peace is precious. Your healing is precious. Not everyone needs full access. Not every opinion needs entry. You are allowed to keep some things between you and your soul. The more you live this way, the more peaceful you become. You begin to feel the difference between being understood and being aligned. Being understood is beautiful when it happens. But being aligned means you are living in truth, even when understanding does not come from others. Alignment is deeper than approval. It is the feeling that your life is beginning to match your inner knowing. It is the calm that comes when your choices and your soul are no longer fighting each other. This calm becomes your guide. When a choice is rooted in fear, you feel the old tightness. When a choice is rooted in truth, even if it is difficult, there is a clean feeling inside, a sense of honesty, a sense of returning. Learn to trust that feeling. It may be softer than the loud voices around you, but it is wiser. It is the voice of your life asking to be lived. You may lose some things as you become free. You may lose old roles. You may lose false peace. You may lose the approval of people who needed you to stay small. But what you gain is far greater. You gain yourself. You gain your breath. You gain your voice. You gain your energy. You gain the ability to wake up and recognize your own life. You gain the quiet joy of no longer performing for love. This is not a small transformation. It changes the way you move. You walk differently when you no longer carry the weight of everyone's approval. You speak differently when you no longer fear every judgment. You rest differently when you no longer believe your worth comes from being useful. You love differently when you no longer give from fear. You live differently when you know you belong to yourself. Let these words support you. I do not need to explain my soul to everyone. I do not need to shrink to be accepted. I am free to live from my truth. I trust the peace within me. These words can become a quiet shelter. Return to them when you feel pulled into over-explaining. Return to them when someone misunderstands you. Return to them when guilt tries to make you small. Return to them when you need to remember that your life belongs to you. You are not being asked to become careless with others. You are being invited to become careful with yourself. Careful with your energy, careful with your peace, careful with your truth. Careful with the soft places inside you that are still healing. You have spent so much time being careful not to hurt anyone else that you may have forgotten to notice where you were hurting yourself. Now you notice. Now you choose differently. Living free is a gentle practice of returning to yourself again and again. When you feel the need to be approved, return. When you feel the need to explain, return. When you feel the fear of judgment, return. Return to the truth that you are already worthy. Return to the truth that your life is sacred. Return to the truth that you can be loving without living for applause. My dear, you do not need to become smaller for love. You do not need to become quieter for peace. You do not need to become less honest for belonging. The places meant for your soul will not require you to disappear. The people meant to walk with you will not need you to betray yourself in order to stay. And the life meant for you will begin to open when you stop asking permission to be who you are. After all the pleasing, all the proving, all the explaining, all the waiting to be chosen, the truth remains beautifully simple. You are already enough, not when everyone agrees, not when the whole world understands you, not when you become perfect, not when you fix every part of your life. Now, here as you are, in this season, in this body, with this heart, with this history, with this hope, you are already enough. This is the truth your soul has been waiting to remember. You do not have to earn your right to exist. You do not have to earn kindness. You do not have to earn rest. You do not have to earn love by becoming easier for others to accept. Your worth is not a reward for good behavior. It is part of your being. It was with you before you tried to prove anything. It will remain with you even when others fail to see it. For years you may have lived as if enoughness was somewhere ahead of you. After the next success, after the next change, after the next approval, after someone finally said the words you wanted to hear. But enoughness is not ahead of you. It is within you. It has been covered by fear, shame, comparison, criticism, and old pain, but it has not disappeared. You are not trying to create worth. You are remembering it. Let this be the soft ending of the old search. You do not need to search every face for permission. You do not need to shape every word to be liked. You do not need to work so hard to become acceptable. You do not need to keep auditioning for love. The heart becomes tired when life is treated like an audition. You are not auditioning. You are living, and your life is allowed to be real. Accepting yourself does not mean you will never grow. It means you will no longer hate yourself into growth. It means you will no longer use shame as fuel. It means you will no longer believe that cruelty toward yourself creates healing. Love heals more deeply than shame ever could. Acceptance creates more lasting change than self-rejection ever will. You grow best when you are rooted in kindness. You are allowed to say, I accept myself even while you are still learning. You are allowed to say, I approve of myself, even while your life is not perfect. You are allowed to say, I am worthy, even while you are healing old wounds. You are allowed to say, I am free, even while parts of you are still learning how freedom feels. You do not need to wait until everything is finished to offer yourself love. This is where peace begins. It begins when you stop making yourself wrong for being human. It begins when you stop demanding perfection from your heart. It begins when you stop comparing your path to someone else's. It begins when you stop seeing your sensitivity as weakness and your needs as burdens. It begins when you say, I am allowed to be here as I am. You have tried the other way. You have tried judging yourself into change. You have tried pleasing others into love. You have tried hiding into safety. You have tried proving into worth. And maybe those ways helped you survive for a time, but they did not set you free. Now, life is offering you a softer way, a truer way, a way where you accept yourself first and allow your life to grow from that acceptance. Think of how different your days can become when you begin from enoughness. You wake up and do not begin by attacking yourself. You move through the world without needing every person to validate you. You make choices with more calm. You speak with more honesty. You rest without so much guilt. You love without begging. You give without losing yourself. You receive without feeling unworthy. This is what self-acceptance opens. There may still be old voices that question you. Let them pass through the light of your new truth. When the voice says, you are not enough, answer with love. I am enough as I am, and I am still growing. When the voice says, they will not approve, answer with peace. I no longer need everyone's approval to honor my life. When the voice says, you must prove yourself, answer with truth. My worth does not need proof. When the voice says, hide, answer with courage. I am safe to be real. Each answer strengthens the new path inside you. Each loving sentence creates a little more freedom. Each moment of self-acceptance becomes a doorway. You may not notice the change all at once, but one day you will realize you are no longer living with the same fear. You are not shrinking as quickly. You are not explaining as much. You are not chasing approval with the same hunger. You are beginning to feel at home in yourself. This home within you is sacred. It is not built by other people's praise. It is not destroyed by their judgment. It is built by the way you return to yourself. It is built by the way you speak kindly to your own heart. It is built by the way you honor your truth when fear rises. It is built by the way you forgive yourself and begin again. This inner home travels with you everywhere. When you have this home, you can love people more freely. You no longer need them to complete you. You no longer need them to approve every part of your path. You no longer need them to rescue you from your own self-doubt. You can enjoy connection without clinging. You can receive love without losing yourself. You can let people come and go without believing their movement defines your worth. This is deep freedom. You are already enough, but you may need to hear it many times because the world may have told you otherwise in many ways. So let the truth be repeated in the heart. You are enough when you are calm. You are enough when you are emotional. You are enough when you are certain. You are enough when you are unsure. You are enough when you succeed. You are enough when you are learning from what did not work. You are enough when people understand you. You are enough when they do not. No opinion has the power to remove your worth. No rejection has the power to erase your value. No mistake has the power to cancel your right to love yourself. No season of confusion has the power to make you less sacred. You belong to life. You are part of life, and life does not make mistakes in the way it creates. Let your body receive this truth. Your shoulders do not have to carry the weight of being perfect. Your chest does not have to hold the fear of judgment. Your jaw does not have to stay tight from words unsaid. Your heart does not have to keep waiting for permission. You can soften into your own acceptance. You can let the old pressure begin to fall away. You can allow yourself to be here without apology. Say this within yourself. I accept myself. I approve of myself. I am free to be who I truly am. Let the words become simple and steady. Let them become familiar. Let them become the truth you return to when the world feels loud. These words are not meant to make you better than anyone. They are meant to bring you back into balance. They are meant to remind you that love includes you. You have spent so much of your life being aware of other people's feelings. Now become aware of your own. You have spent so much energy trying to be accepted. Now practice accepting yourself. You have spent so much time hoping someone would choose you. Now choose yourself with tenderness, not because others do not matter, but because you matter too. There is a quiet beauty in a person who has stopped begging to be approved. They do not need to prove every point. They do not need to win every room. They do not need to be praised to feel alive. They carry a soft strength. They can listen without losing themselves. They can love without becoming empty. They can stand alone without feeling unworthy. This is the beauty growing in you. You are becoming free in a way that is calm, deep, and real. Free from the need to perform. Free from the fear of being disliked. Free from the habit of shrinking. Free from the hunger to be chosen by people who cannot see you clearly. Free to live from truth. Free to accept your whole self. Free to become who you were before fear taught you to hide. And as you become free, your life begins to feel more honest. Some things may fall away. Some connections may change. Some old habits may no longer fit. Let this happen with trust. Freedom often makes space before it fills the room with peace. Do not fear the space. Space is where the new life enters. Space is where your true voice returns. Space is where your heart learns to breathe. You do not have to know every step of this journey. You only need to keep returning to the truth. I am enough. I am allowed. I am worthy. I accept myself now. Let these truths guide you through moments of doubt. Let them hold you when old fears rise. Let them remind you that your freedom is not something you need to earn. It is something you allow by no longer rejecting yourself. My dear, as this message settles into your heart, remember the simple truth that has been waiting beneath every word. You do not need to live for their approval anymore. You do not need to bend your spirit into shapes that make others comfortable. You do not need to keep performing for love, explaining your worth, or hiding the parts of you that make you real. You are allowed to come home to yourself. The world may still have opinions. People may still misunderstand. Some may celebrate your freedom, and some may resist it. But your peace does not need to rise and fall with every reaction. Your worth does not need to be placed in anyone else's hands. Your life does not need permission from those who do not understand your soul. You can bless them, love them, release the need to convince them, and still choose your own truth. Let this be the new path within you. You no longer abandon yourself to be accepted. You no longer silence your heart to keep false peace. You no longer measure your value by how useful, agreeable, or pleasing you can be. You are learning to live from self-acceptance. You are learning to speak to yourself with love. You are learning to let your own approval become a steady light inside you. And when the old fear returns, meet it gently. Tell it, I understand why you are here, but I am safe now. I do not need to earn my place by disappearing. I do not need to win love by losing myself. I accept who I am. I approve of who I am becoming. I am free to live as my true self. Let those words stay with you. Let them soften the places that have been tired from proving. Let them comfort the parts of you that waited too long to be accepted. Let them open the door to a new way of living, where love does not require performance and peace does not require self-betrayal. You are already enough. You were enough before they understood you. You were enough before they approved of you. You were enough before you learned to hide. And now, as you return to yourself, you do not become worthy. You remember that you always were. Rest in that truth. Walk with that truth. Let it guide the way you speak, choose, love, give, receive, and begin again. You are safe to be yourself. You are allowed to accept yourself. You are free to live without carrying the weight of everyone's approval. And from this freedom, your heart can finally breathe again.